tag calls anyone to the forefront. Hopefully you can hear me okay, and I will wait to really dive in until at least one person is on the stream. In the meantime, I want to do a recap. A recap of all the hot topics, not all the hot topics by any means, but maybe the hotter of the hot topics, which a lot of this has to do with, I believe, the land here and what is happening to the land and the discomforts this is causing a lot of people. So discomforts that it's causing to locals, natives of this land, discomfort that it's causing to those people who feel entitled to this land. Hello, welcome, Vikas's Art. Good to be here with you. Where are you from? Are you from Thailand or somewhere else? Can you tell me? I would love to know. We'll see if that comes through. Because I really want to share about some experiences that I am having here. Oh, Himalaya, beautiful. Namaskar, namaste. Himalaya, wow, I wish to live there one day, or at least stay for some time, because the Himalayas are just so beautiful. I've been to Kasol in India. Hello, welcome. I am from the United States, but I am currently in Thailand. Where are you from? Someone else. Avingan? Did I say your name correctly? Probably not. But welcome to the stream. Oh, Dharamsala. Okay, yeah, Dharamsala. I've been to Dharamsala. It's beautiful. The mountains in that region of India is, I mean, wow. I would love to definitely live there at some point. You are from India. Okay, welcome. I love India. India is top of my list. Satnam Singh, welcome. Hello. Okay. This is amazing. Hello, Cherish. Welcome to the stream. Good to be here with everyone. I love learning where you are coming from. It's so beautiful to connect in this way. I love India for sure. India is one of my most favorite places that I've ever traveled. I haven't been to India since 2019, before, everything shifted. Punjab, I've never actually been to Punjab, but I would love to go to the Golden Temple. My name is Amanda. Amanda, Amanda. My job actually is teaching yoga. I've been a yoga teacher for over 20 years, so I teach all different types of yoga. Thank you. I would love to have 100 viewers. Thank you, Cherish. Noelle. Noelle is actually my middle name, by the way. I'm a Christmas baby. But thank you guys so much. Welcome. How is everyone doing today? How are you guys feeling? I know there's always so much happening in the world, but how do you feel in life? Are you happy? Are you feeling a little bit not great? There's a question. Did you visit West Bengal and Bihar? This theater, very, very nice. Oh, Bihar, and the opposite of Bihar, West Bengal. I never traveled to West Bengal. Yeah, no, but I will definitely put it on the list for sure. Any recommendations, I will take to heart. Absolutely. So how is everyone feeling on the stream right now? Are we okay in the world? I am testing these live streams to see, who it is that I connect with. And, oh, good. I'm happy that you're good, Sophie, as a cat. Welcome. Hello. Yeah, I'm just testing all of this out to see, where things land. Which phone do I have? I have an iPhone. Ooh, BT. Maybe ease up on that. You guys, don't get it strange. So I live over in Thailand at the moment. I'm here. And there's quite interesting things that are happening in the region right now. And there's a lot of contention between the people who live here, the people who are long-term travelers here who've been coming here for, quite some time. There's just a lot of changes that are currently happening. So I really wanted to talk about this. But of course, if anyone has any question about the island of Koh Phangan, where I am, you're also a channel. What is your channel? You're a gaming channel? Shout out to your channel. Bye, Cherish. Thank you so much. Have a good day at work. Thanks for stopping by. So Avignon, it looks like gaming, G_gaming on YouTube. So if I have that right, let me know. If not, so welcome everyone. If you're just joining, I would love to know where you're from. Feel free to say hello in the stream. Let me know if you're here in Thailand or where it is that you are tuning in from. I don't know any Hindi, so sorry. So we've been seeing a lot of this voice coming to the surface here on the island. I would love a class in Hindi. Thank you. That would be amazing. I mean, all of the, the secrets of a society is all in the language, for sure. Right? Definitely in Sanskrit, and some of the Sanskrit that I've studied. So welcome. So I wanted to talk a little bit about what's happening to the land here on this island. So I'm on the island of Koh Phangan, and it's a really beautiful, magical piece of nature. And it's very kind of mystical. It's been known for something that isn't so mystical, which is the full moon parties. There's like 30,000 people that, come to the island every month just to go to this like wild party on the beach. I've never been there. But there's also like a very concentrated, there's a concentration of like wellness. Like me, I'm a wellness practitioner. I originally came to the island because I got hired to work in a center, and I just like completely changed my life leaving the States and coming here. I no longer work for that center, but there's been a lot of changes because of the pandemic and different things that happened over the past few years. And after the pandemic, pandemic was really hard. The fees of the class will be $59 per day. Well, good luck with that. Blessings for your prosperity. In my opinion, so I'm just going to share like my opinion of what I think is happening. And of course, because everything has been brought to social media, everything is like super hyperbolic, emotional, triggering, trolling, all of these things that happen. So in my experience being here during the shutdown, was a very terrifying time for a lot of the local people, because this is a country that, especially this island, it gets a lot of its economics, right, from tourists and travelers. Like everything is set up here for tourism. And then there's like the small kind of like expat long-term people that are also set up here, but for tourism, right? You have expats that own restaurants and cafes and, maybe even resorts, like this kind of a thing. All of that is catered towards the Western traveler coming in, the foreign traveler coming in to do something here. So I follow the culture of the spirit, one world tradition. So once the gates opened, there was this particular season where once it was very easy for people to come into the country, you know, there was also, I think, Ukrainian and Russian war was happening. And you saw a huge influx of people coming to this island. Vikas, it's sort of cheap. Like, this is kind of what I'm getting at in this story, because what's happened is that it's shifted. It used to be, I mean, I think in certain parts of Thailand, for sure, compared to like where I come from, it's going to be very affordable. And then you have certain places like where I'm at now, where it's the rents are rising. And so I want to talk about this because I think that this is the underlying current to a lot of what we are seeing in the media right now, which is basically this confrontation between the Thai people and people from Israel. A lot of it is getting pushed onto Israelis for a very specific reason, and then a lot of like stuff around it. So when the gates opened and people could come back in to the country very easily and start to visit, travel, you know, especially after lockdown and everything that people went through during that time, people were ready to like be out, you know, explore, live a little. And so everyone started coming here. And I think what the island hadn't really experienced before was people coming here with a lot more wealth and a lot more money, deeper pockets. And thank you, Sophie. Bye. So you have people with a lot more money coming to the island, whereas I think before it was like expats that are living, you know, pretty minimalistically, maybe doing well in their business for being over here, but like working and being a part of the community. And then you have people that come in that are just tourists or travelers. They're going to be here for a month or two, or maybe 3 months, and, you know, come in and contribute economically, and they can find, you know, a pretty decent house, not spend too much money, and just enjoy the benefit of being in this like very beautiful region. And then when this influx came, and I think a lot of it is because of war, right? People do not want to be in their countries when that is happening. And so they're fleeing, and they have the money to flee. And we're also all working online now digitally, so you can run businesses. Money from the yoga classes, or you also helps the people. So how many subscribers do I have? I have over 1,000 subscribers. I think I have like 1,700. And Vikas, I run yoga classes online, and then I do yoga classes and teachings on YouTube for free. So I am monetized, meaning that I will, you know, I don't make a ton of money at this point, but I would like to go in the direction of being able to really, you know, afford life through that channel. I think it's a fair trade to like offer it for free and to just get paid in the views, because that means that it's helpful for someone. If they're watching it again and again, then it's helpful content. And I would like to make content that is somewhat helpful, somewhat entertaining, and also creating some connection as well. So we're seeing a lot of tension right now between Israel and Thailand. Not the countries themselves, but like the people here and the tourists that are here. And so to just kind of back up, basically once those gates open and you have people coming in with a lot more money, they're able to make bigger purchases, bigger investments. A much deeper investment than, you know, somebody like me who's coming here to work, you know, to run a detox center or, you know, teach yoga teacher trainings. I'm going to make, you know, some money, but not the type of money to like buy up tons of property. Just looking at the chat. Hello, Mohammed. Welcome. Welcome to the chat. Where are you from? Okay, thank you for the invitation. Much appreciated. I will keep it in mind the next time I travel. Always good to meet friends. Always good. Thank you. So bigger pockets, bigger money pockets, like people probably with like good businesses of where they come from. Hello, Naragan. Welcome. Nice to see you. And with those big pockets came bigger purchases, purchasing land, bigger investment properties, villas, right? Selling the dream. And of course, if you are a local native person to the land, it would make sense after something like the pandemic to sell some land and make some money back, after a couple of years of like not a lot of tourism happening on the island. I totally get it. However, it was just so extreme. It was so extreme. You had so much land being sold. You have so many different properties that are being built and these different villas and, just trying to like move it into this bracket, this like upper echelon financial bracket, to the point where the house where I live, which is, I'm so grateful for my home and I'm so grateful for the Thai family that has built this house for me and, allows me to stay here. And I have a beautiful location for sure. But my rent, I mean, they did it because they felt like, I think that they had to, because the rest of the island, the rent is going up so much. Like, it's like we kind of have to do this because this is what is expected. And so my rent went up like 54%. I'm not sure I understand your observation. People, I don't know any beggars. I'm a giver, so people can take freely what I give here for sure. There's no worry about that. So then you see like all of these projects, and what happened at first was then people's rent start to go up. And so that makes it uncomfortable for someone like me, and a lot of people who have gotten very comfortable living on this island in a kind of pre-2020, very affordable. You could just arrive to the island and like find a house and you wouldn't need to plan too much. And it was just kind of this much more space, more freedom. And I think it probably did feel a bit more like a centric community. And thank you. And, it's been shifting because there's been a lot more tourism coming in as well. And the most recent batch in the past, I would say like year and a half, I think it's really been escalating, is the amount of Israeli tourists that are coming here, which is fine to like be a tourist and come here. And there's a lot of Israelis who have bought up land and property. And I think where it gets really scary for the Thai community is when there's like signage in Hebrew. And this also happened in Phuket with the Russians. Like apparently like the Russians all went to Phuket and started opening their businesses, which like Thailand does allow foreigners to open businesses in Thailand. Like, thank you, Thailand. But there are certain aspects to these businesses where maybe people are cutting corners, which is kind of where we're at now. Well, I mean, the story is about Koh Phangan, Thailand. So, you don't have to stay in the stream if you don't want to hear about it. But this is kind of something that is really important to the people who live here. And it should be important to you if you're living in an area at all where you might start to see some migration happening. And the immigration of people that want to stay long term in your country, and what that means for you as a local, and what that means for me consciously as a traveler, as someone who is traveling to these places, who wants to stay long term, like all of that. So I'm sorry to bore you. But also, this is a test, so it is what it is. Um, so basically, a lot of these tourist stories started to pop up where a lot of the younger Israeli crowd are coming in and are very rude and disrespectful and creating a lot of problems. And we start to see that in, publicly you see it in the Facebook groups, you just like start to hear people kind of chewing on this. And for me, it's just wild because your country is already under a microscope right now. And, everything that's happening in that region is super, super sensitive. So to come to another country and not really care about how you're being viewed or what you might create for other people, it's like it can take like one bad apple to spoil the bunch. So it's like, you would think you would come to the country with like a little more respect for your hosts and good manners and all of these things. And it's just not what has been happening here, which is unfortunate. I had a run-in with a younger Israeli man at the night market. And, the night market is a very social place. It's shopping. It's like all of these different Thai vendors and, buying whatever it is that you want to buy, food or clothes, all sorts of things. And I was shopping and making a purchase with this Thai man who was selling like, just like clothes, secondhand clothes. And there was a group of Israelis and they were eating, and the guy like had his plate and he just like set it down, where it wasn't supposed to go. It wasn't like in the trash. And then the Thai guy is like trying to communicate, like, no, like take that with you. Like, don't leave it here. And I stepped in. I was like, hey, you need to like actually put it in a garbage can. He's like, but there's no garbage can. I'm like, you actually have to hold on to it until you walk and you find a garbage can to just throw it away. Like that's all he's asking you to do. And it was a very big like huff and puff, situation, and it doesn't need to be that. And I thought, wow, this person is young and traveling, like where is his mother? Like why would he would not disrespect his mother in that way? Like I don't think, and that's just what it made me think of. Like you're in another person's home, you're in another person's house when you are traveling. So travel with respect, right? Treat others the way that you would want to be treated. So that was just like something very gentle. And there's been, a lot of other stories and a lot of other situations, especially between Thai people, business owners, and, what is happening. So, yeah. So now there was a restaurant in the south of the island that put up a sign that says no Israelis. Like proudly, no Israelis. We don't want any Israelis here. An Israeli had asked about this, like went there to eat, was like, well, wait, what? And the owner was like, I'm not having it. It's been too much disrespect, not paying, like ditching the bill, like all of these different things apparently that this, person has experienced. So he just said, F it, and put up the sign. And then the Israeli community got together. Some of the Israeli community got together because it's all very tribal, right? Israel, Russia, Ukraine, like all of these different people that are here. It's like a very tribal way of communicating, which completely makes sense. Americans, we don't really travel like that unless maybe you're like a Black American. Then maybe you're coming in to like kind of find your people and connect and get the DL. As a white American, like, no, we basically stay far away from Americans and like find all the other people that we came here to find, oddly enough. So people are communicating. And what happens is, this group of people decide to put bad reviews in this restaurant, negative Google reviews. And so then they find out about it. And then there's a campaign for like everyone else, Thai people, Farang people to step forward and to do, positive reviews for this. And it's all being acted out very publicly online, right? So none of this is defamation, like, at all. And it's just very interesting to watch it unfold, because you have now this Thai voice that's coming forward that's saying, like, we want our island back, you know? And the reality is that, like, the island has been sold, right? The island has been sold. And now, you know, upper management of the country is coming in to see, like, whether or not these sales were legal, because you have to have, you know, things done in a very specific way. And if they're cutting corners, then, you know, I guess we'll see what happens if some of the projects get stalled, or if the land gets given, you know, I have no idea. I can't imagine that money would be given back, and, like, you know, I'm sure a lot of that money is already spent that they made off of the land, right? So I don't know. It's very interesting, but in my perspective, yeah, just the land grab opportunity. And, like, it's okay to follow an opportunity, right? Like, you see an opportunity and you have the means to create that for yourself, like, sure, why not? And you see the opportunity on both sides to, like, make money, to make this deal. But then it just starts to snowball, right? Because everyone wants a little bit of the pie, a little piece of paradise, a little piece of the financial wealth that it could potentially bring in. And it's funny too, because, like, a lot of these villa projects and whatnot, it's like all of these little villas that are all, like, right next to each other. And I'm so grateful for where I live right now, because the landlords, they sold, like, a rai to, like, one villa project. It's like this huge, you know, monstrous villa, which is fine. They have a great view. They have an infinity pool. It's amazing. But they're not going to build anywhere else around here. They're just like, we're done. Actually, the owner of the property, she said, she was like, the elders said to don't sell any more land. And so they stopped selling their land. They have another project elsewhere. They have the resort here. So, you know, they are content. They got some money, but they're, like, staying humble with it, which feels great. And it's great for me, because there's not, like, a lot of buildings coming up right next to me, because I have a lot of luck. So this is the situation that I'm in right now. But, you know, the sad thing about this is that everyone is conflating, and I guess everything is connected, but I think it's really poor, like, consciousness, the way that people are conflating everything that's happening in the region with Israel and Gaza, and conflating, like, rude behavior for, like, that political, like, spectrum, I guess. I don't think that's even the right word, but it's like the tone of the politics, and then taking the politics and putting it on to the people. But the reality is that the people have been rude here, and the people have been disrespectful, and the people have come in such large amounts that it feels like some type of takeover, because now the language is changing, right? The menu languages are changing, and the signage is changing. And, you know, there's also illegal businesses, not just with the land, but, like, certain things that you're not supposed to do in Thailand. When I first got to Thailand, it was made very clear to me, like, these are the types of businesses that you can be involved in as a foreigner, and this is what belongs to the Thai people. So, you know, I'm sure people knew that, and they decided to cut corners and just take advantage. And Thai people are really nice, like, so incredibly nice, but they are not to be taken advantage of, like, at all. They're not stupid people, like, no way. So it's basically all unearthing itself right now. And it's unearthing itself because it's coming from the earth, from the land, which is where all of it is starting from, right? Like, selling the land and not really knowing who you're selling it to, and what is the intention of the project. What is the intention of the people that are going to live there? How are they going to care for it? And if it's just this commercial situation, then that's what you're going to get. You're going to get a commercial issue, a commercial solution, a commercial consciousness versus the consciousness of the people that like truly cared for the island, you know, and truly cared for the beauty of it and the gratitude for being able to be here on the island. It's not perfect. I don't think that all of us are perfect and in perfect harmony always by any means, but I do think that that there's a difference between, I would say, you know, the old consciousness and like the new consciousness. It's not like the new consciousness is going to be super, super high, or at least that's not what we're seeing. So that's the boring story. That's the boring story, the boring update of what's happening here. It is interesting, though. It's very, very interesting to observe, and I pray that there can be, you know, a positive solution, maybe some type of slowing down on the land and the builds, and just, you know, and maybe there's going to be some like clearing out. And this is kind of what tends to happen on the island, is it kind of goes in these swells of energy and issues, and then it calms, and you go through these beautiful vibes, and then you get into like some sticky situations, and it just kind of is what it is. But I wanted to just give a little bit of a voice to it. Thank you so much for being here. We are at the end of this stream, and we'll do another one soon. So I will see you in the next one. Thank you for your love, and thank you for your support. Blessings to you.